Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Josh from the Dialed In Hunter. As you can see, we have a rifle and a gun vise in front of me. So today I am going to be mounting a new rifle scope on my new rifle. This is pretty exciting because in all honesty, I've never done this before. But I know that with the right tools and a little bit of know-how, this is an incredibly easy process. So if I can figure this out and not completely ruin this, which time will tell in this video if I totally mess this up. If I can do this successfully, so can you. Okay, so little rundown on what we got here. We have a Nosler Model 21 in 6.5 Creedmoor. This is gonna be the rifle I bring with me for my backcountry bear hunts this year. I think it's gonna do great. Played with a 6.5 last year, really liked how it felt, shot awesome. So I think it's gonna be a great gun. On the top, I'm going to be putting the new Strike Eagle from Vortex. This is a 3-18 by 44. It's a first focal plane scope. I got a chance to test this out late last year. Really liked it. Super clear optic. Operated smoothly, and I shot really well with it. It's got an exposed turret, and I think it's just going to be a great addition for this backcountry bear rifle that I'm putting together. So this is what we're putting on top, and it's going to be held in place by the new Pro rifle scope rings from Vortex. So that's what we're working with. So there are a couple tools here in front of me that's going to help me get this done easier. Obviously, you see the gun vise. This thing is awesome. It's from Tipton. I think it was around $100. I saw this at the Vortex Edge facility, and I was like, man, I feel like this is a no-brainer. I need to order this if I'm going to mount my own rifle scopes in the future. So picked that up. I have a rifle leveling kit here. I have a Vortex torque wrench, little T25 tool. There are a bunch of drill bits in here that fit the torque wrench. And then I've got my rifle scope rings right here. So that's what's in front of me. The bases are already installed here. I did this the other day. This is a 2-piece Picatinny. The bolt is out of the gun. Look inside, there's nothing in there, and we are on safety, okay? So first things we're gonna do here is I'm gonna make sure everything is level, all right? So I'm gonna take this guy, this little guy here, and I put it on the Picatinny this way, all right? And looking here, the bubble is right in the middle. Then I'm gonna take this for the barrel. I'm going to loosen this up. Undo this. Attach it to the barrel. And I'm going to make sure that we're level here as well. Move that until the bubble is right in the middle. So now the two bubbles are matching. So the reason I have two of these here is this one I'm gonna obviously have to remove in order to put the rifle scope on, right? So I'm putting this one here to match this one right now to make sure they're both in the middle, because when I take this away, I'm not gonna have a reference to see if the gun is still level or not, right? So that's why this is here, to make sure that I know the gun is gonna be level when I'm putting on the rifle scope. If that bubble goes off, then I know something weird happened. So take this off, and we are going to get our rings put on here. And I'm just gonna tighten these just to kind of hold them in place while I'm working here. All right, take these out. All right, so here's our rifle scope right here. I'm gonna place it down in the rings, and I've got plenty of adjustability front to back right here. I can twist it right here. It's seems like even pressure in the scope rings. So I'm going to start with the the rings in the center here. And I'm going to check for proper eye relief now. I'm not going to put these all the way in, but just enough to where it'll hold, so I can check to see if the scope is where it needs to be. And I'll also check the level after all that. I'm also doing this in a kind of a alternating pattern. It's not super important right now, I don't think. But when you start tightening it, like really tightening it so it's not going to move, you want to do it kind of, you know, opposite ended, so you're getting even pressure throughout the ring. Okay, I can still move it around. All right, so now I'm going to take this off. Make sure we are cranked to full power here. Right. Take the gun out of the vise. Kind of close my eyes and then open them. I don't have a full picture here, so I'm going to push forward a little bit. Close my eyes. You don't want to have to like go like this when you get to the scope. And I can see now I have a full picture where I am. So, I'm going to get this back in here. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, like this turret right here is like right up against this scope ring. This is where this scope felt the most comfortable for me in terms of the eye relief. So what I'm going to do is I've got one more notch forward in the Picatinny right here on the base. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to take the scope off. We're going to have to do this again. And I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to move it forward one notch to get this away from the turrets, just so there's a little bit more even spacing between the turret and the scope ring. So now we are forward. Tighten that back up. So now that we've confirmed that where these scope rings are where they should be, I'm going to cinch these down. So on the back of these, it says 30 inch-pounds. Okay, so I'm going to take my torque wrench. This is why you need a torque wrench. I'm going to take my torque wrench. I'm going to set it to 30 inch-pounds. Okay, and I'm going to push these forward and kind of alternate between them until the torque wrench pops. I'd love to know, by the way, in terms of the whole like pushing them forward thing, there is like some conflicting opinions on this. So I'd love to know what your opinion is on mounting on a Picatinny. Do you I've heard people say push them all forward. I've heard them say push them back. I've heard them say push them one forward and one back. Vortex recommends that we push them forward, so that's what I'm going to do, but I'd love to know your thoughts down below. So we're pushing forward. We're set to 30 inch-pounds. Kind of going back and forth here. Just waiting for this to pop. There's one. There's another. All right, so that's good. I'm going to do the next one. Pushing forward. That one popped. That one popped. All right, so those are set. So now we are ready to sit the scope in here and check eye relief and everything like that. All right, here we go. Let's drop the scope in. Putting it in. You can see it twists easy, goes back and forth. I don't have any, it's like even pressure. It's contacting on the whole way through the scope ring. So that is good. Got good placement of the scope ring on the tube here. So now I'm going to put the top of the ring on and we're going to check for eye relief. I'm not going to put them on too tight though. Just so it holds it in place to the point where I can still move it, but it's not going to move on its own. It's a little tight, but I can still move that right there. Okay. Do the next one. Okay, a little tight. Loosen it a bit. There we go. I'm going to close my eyes. Okay, this is on full power too, just so you know. Vortex recommends that you do this on full power. So this is very similar to a peep sight on your bow. So what we're looking for here is natural position. Okay, it's very similar to lining up your peep sight on a bow. You come to full draw, you keep your eyes closed, open them, and at that point that's where your string is ending up. And if your peep isn't lined up with your scope housing, you know that the peep needs to be moved. It's the same thing here. You're going to bring it up, close your eyes, get comfortable where it feels natural, and then open them, look through the scope. If you need to go like this, okay, you can adjust the scope backwards or forwards to accommodate your natural position. But other than that, once you get a full picture in the rifle scope, that's where you set your eye relief. So bring it up, natural position, open, and I can see that I have a full picture in the rifle scope. So that is where we are going to keep that. All right, so when you're putting the gun back in the vise, you want to make sure that you stay level right there, okay, on your bubble level down there. If it's off a little bit, you twist the rifle a little bit, adjust the tension here until the bubble is in the middle. Because then because you did the level at the start of this and calibrated both bubbles, you know that you're level at that point. So we are level and ready to rock. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is we have this way figured out with the rifle scope. Now we need to make sure it's level. Okay. So I'm going to pop off the T25 bit and I'm going to grab this flathead bit and I'm going to take the top of the turret off, a little screw here. Okay. Take the top of this off. Because underneath that is going to expose the most level surface, as I understand it, to the reticle. All right. So we are trying to make sure that our scope is level. So there we go. Got that off. So we're going to take our level. Put it right here. And I can see that the bubble is too far towards me. Okay. So I'm going to twist the scope. I'm not going to move it back this way or this way, but just carefully twist the scope until the bubble gets in the middle. There we go. That's good. Still level down here. Everything is looking perfect. All right, so we know everything is level. We are in the right position on the scope rings. So now it's time to tighten down the scope rings, okay? So I'm gonna pop this flathead bit off, put the T25 bit in, and right here on the scope rings it says 18 inch-pounds, okay? So that is what we are gonna tighten this to, and is why it's so important to have a torque wrench when you do this. I was talking to some of the folks over at Vortex, and they were telling me, like, hands down, like, the biggest issue that they see in terms of rifle scopes is people over tightening scope rings, and the tube cracks, and then people have all sorts of issues with their sight in and everything like that. So pay attention, look at the specs of the scope rings, and make sure that you set your torque wrench to whatever that scope ring is telling you to do. This one is saying 18 inch-pounds. So I am gonna set my torque wrench to 18 inch-pounds. Here we go. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna alternate, okay? I'm gonna do, just to make sure we're getting even pressure. Went this corner, now I'm gonna go this corner. Back to this corner. Back to this corner. Back to this corner. Back to this corner. Keep going. Starting to get tight. Popped. 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 All right. So after I did that, make sure to look at the levels. I'm still level. Okay, so now we're gonna do the other one. Tighten that down. Come over to the other side. Kind of making an X, basically. I'm going like here, 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 to ensure get like even pressure. Just little by little. Bubble level is still level, so we're looking good. It's starting to get tight. Little by little. It is my understanding that this is not something you rush and muscle your way through. So just gonna take our time, little by little. That one popped. That one popped. All right. They all popped. We are done. That's it. Rifle scope mounted. I'm stoked. Ready for the range. Not totally ready for the field yet. Got to get sighted in, but I'm super excited. I can't believe how incredibly easy that was to do on my own. And I'm a little disappointed that I hadn't tried to do it in the past beforehand. So if I can figure this out, you can totally do it. Just stick to the specs, get yourself the right tools to be able to do it, the gun vise, the torque wrench, the leveling kit, and you can do this yourself too. And when you go into the field and you're sitting there glassing for deer, elk, bears, whatever you're doing, and you look over at your rifle scope, you're gonna be like, I'm the one that mounted that. I know exactly how it was mounted. And for me right now, I haven't even shot it yet. And it's just like a gratifying feeling knowing that everything went smoothly and I shouldn't have anything to worry about. So that's going to do it for the video. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. If you like the channel, please hit subscribe. And until next time, stay safe out there.